the number.
Abby, how many dances does that kid remember every week and go out there and deliver them?
I don't know, but you know the one I remember? The one where she forgot her dance on stage at Nationals and ran around to music. That's the one I remember.
Of course it is, because you are Negative Nelly, glass half full.
That was a clip from Dance Moms, and we are back with 4 of the reality hit stage moms. Please welcome Christy, Kelly, Holly, and Melissa, and their dancing daughters, who are gorgeous and in the front row of our audience today. They'll perform. You guys are performing later too. We cannot wait. Abby, we were talking about, I made the comparison of Tony Dungy, who still produces like successful players, championship-winning teams, but doesn't yell and scream. And you were saying,
I have those kids too. I can say to a child, you know, when you're coming through sur le coup de pied into passe, open up your knee and press your hip down.
Yes.
I cannot teach every child that way. Every child learns differently. Some kids you have to yell at. Some kids you have to take a baseball bat, which is foam rubber, by the way, and straighten that knee. They just don't get it that way.
okay, let me ask the moms. I'm going to turn to the moms. Christy and Kelly, speaking of yelling, I mean, there are times when your daughters are they're yelled at, they're screamed at, times when you, as the parent, are in like a full-on verbal battle with Abby here, full tilt, volume up to like the 10th. How do you keep going back to that? Or why do you keep coming back to a situation that seems quite argumentative?
Well,
it should be fun, right?
It should be fun. I agree. And that's probably half the reason why we fight all the time, because Abby's not a mom. She doesn't get that, you know, there's different ways to approach children. But the reason we keep coming back, me specifically, is Chloe was an only child for 8 years. Those are her sisters.
Yeah.
Now, she does have a sister now, but if I said to her, do you want to leave? And Chloe and I actually had this conversation a few weeks ago. I said, you know what? If this is enough, if enough is enough, you let me know and we're done. I put her to sleep. You know, 2 hours later, she gets up, she comes in my room, tousled hair, and she goes, I can't leave. I can't do it. I have to stay. I love those girls. That's why we go back.
Yeah, they definitely have a bond.
Christy, you said that in the last episode, I think it was, that you signed a 1-year contract with Abby Lee, and if you left, you would have to pay her $100,000 or get blacklisted from all the other dance shows. Is this true?
In cash, within 7 days.
Yes,
it's part of Abby's contract.
Can I clarify that?
Sure.
Please.
That is not a contract for the dance studio. That is when your child enters a certain organization's titles. And they are the reigning, say, junior Miss National Dance, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They have a contract that child stays with their teacher of record for the following year. I have been burned before. By 17, 18-year-olds that were, you know, not on the right page, if we must. And that ruins my reputation in everybody's eyes in that organization. That's why I put that contract into play, so that it would discourage anybody else from ever doing that again.
I'm going to have you renegotiate my contract for Modern Family, I think you might do a really good job.
Holly, Sherry was actually alluding to your situation earlier in the previous segment, where Abby came at you saying that, told Nia, your daughter, that you didn't care enough about her because you were leaving to work. You're the working mom of the group. How do you feel about that? I mean, does she have a right to kind of nail into you because you're working?
Absolutely not. That's one of our, I think, the tensions with our relationship is about my job. And I'm a professional career woman, and I take great pride in that. I think it's a great role model for the girls. And I'm a mom, a professional, and you have to balance those two things. So and it's hard to do that.
How do you explain it to your daughter when you're the dance coach? I know y'all get into it all the time, but when the coach says your daughter, your mom doesn't love you. I mean, do you keep her in the school?
You know, it's interesting. One of the things that Nia and I have a very good relationship, and it's important for her to know that I am always with her, even if I'm not physically there. And there are messages that Abby's a phenomenal dance teacher, and my job as her mother is to help Nia navigate that and to understand that there are important points of wisdom that Abby can share. Her delivery is off. There are things that she says that I totally object with as an educator, but there are principles that I think which are really sound, and I help her filter. Okay, this is good advice. This we can kind of tuck away. That's not such good advice. But that's But that's part of my job as a mom in life situations, life skills. But she has to know that I love her first.
It's important to have that good support system at home.